Meow. Meow, meow, meow. 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 Hi, buddy. How are you? You having a good day? Come here, you. Hi, bud. Love you. My little one. Oh, right in the neck. Hey. Do. Okay, scratches. Why? I was just about to work. Sitting here for 10 minutes. You didn't come over. As soon as I hit record, it's like, I have to come over and say hello. Say hi to the people. Meow. Hi, Lucifer. Lucifer. Fur. Lucy fur. Okay. Come on, bud. I'll pet you after I'm done this. No, come on. Come on. Oh, dear. Over this way. No. There you go. Ugh. Yeah. Well. Well, on that note, hello, 'tis I, Bulldog, here once again to enlighten, to share the wild and wacky life I live, and with the people that I know, just everything. You know, it's amazing. Such a wonderful cat that I have. Really is. Yeah. So, as per usual, my cup is full. My bowl is full, and I got a full interview with my next guest, Jake Disman. We talk about music and Toronto's film industry and or not film industry, but the sound industry. It's one of my favorite discussions that I've had thus far. Don't get me wrong, everybody else is pretty cool too, but this one was really, really good. So I guess I could sit here and take up all that time, but the boys will wait. So Jake, Bulldog, take it away. All right. I'd like to thank or introduce my next guest. He is currently the chief cook and bottle washer at the Rock Pile, and also the head sound guy for April Wine, Jake Disman. Thank you very much, my friend, for
it's nice to be here.
Being on my show. So you're doing
Thank
all
you,
right?
Man.
Yeah, you doing all right?
Well, you know, it's been a pandemic, right? You know, one of those normal pandemics. So everything's the way it should be in a pandemic, apparently, right? You know, since we have those all the time.
Just but, like next Tuesday, right?
You know, right. You know, back to gigs soon, I hope. And apparently there's some touring stuff happening possibly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's amazing. That's great to hear, my friend. So I guess we should start off and just be tell us a bit about you at the beginning. How did you get into sound and lights and all that? What sort of drew you to the world of music and shows?
Well, I played in a band, right? I played in a band called Pig Tumbler. This was like 1986, so I was like 16 years old. And I was playing punk bands after that. I was in a band called Nervous Twitch. But it seemed like every show that I went to and every show I did, I would absolutely hate the fucking sound guy. So I pretty much became a sound guy out of spite to prove that it could be done without a bullshit attitude, and you know, you could do your job with somewhat of a you don't have to be an asshole every second of every minute. I literally chose my career out of spite.
That is hilarious. That is That is amazing. So, did you predominantly do that? In you're from Toronto originally?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
North York.
North York. Okay. So you
Yeah.
originally did a bunch of shows, and then you were like, "Well, screw you, sound guys. I can do this better." And
No, okay. Uh, I I was like, okay, I wanted some recording, and I didn't really like the sound guys I had met. I didn't really like the audio that I was hearing on the radio. Pretty much, I just knew that I wanted to be able to have some sort of control over what I was doing. And if you're in a metal crossover punk band, you're not really going to get that kind of control if you get any. Like either it's going to sound like a pile of shit,
mhm.
or no one's it's it's you're not going to do it without spending an insane amount of money. So I'm like, okay, well, how about I spend an insane amount of money and go to Travis and learn how to do it myself. That way I can spend hopefully as much time as I need doing what I need to do. Went to Travis, did really well there, loved it. Great bunch of guys.
Sorry,
School works for
what,
me, doesn't work for everyone.
well, that's
Travis.
Travis. That's a school
A
for.
school, yeah, it's an audio engineering school. Audio
Okay,
engineering, recording,
all right.
audio production, business. Yeah, so anything music industry related, they try to take your money for. And I ended up doing really well. I got the highest score, the highest average in the school. They gave me a bunch of money back, and I flew off to Europe. I came back. I could not get a job in the studio. Saved my life. Like I tried. I put in applications to every single studio in Toronto, outside of Toronto. I got business cards printed. I handed out all of them. I was just absolutely, completely in the like such a rut. Like I had done a couple of production stuff, like studio stuff with a band called Cyan. They're now called Brain Toy, and I don't even know if they still exist. But I really wasn't getting an opportunity, and I knew that studios were closing and times were starting to change. And okay, so I thought maybe I'd try some live stuff, and it turned out that I had an ability and an affinity for it, so it worked out pretty well.
Oh, that's great. Just you went to Europe just for like
Just to go surprise my dad.
that's
My dad
awesome.
was my dad was teaching in Charles University in Prague 6 months out of the year, and
Okay.
then would spend 6 months out of the year teaching back here in Toronto. Yeah,
Oh, that's amazing.
professor of sociology.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow. So you come from a high intellect family, much as myself too. My dad's doctorate in education,
Nice.
and taught for years and all that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we had
cool.
this conversation at that bar.
Yeah, I remember that. It was
Both
oh,
my parents are sociology professors. Yeah.
that's great. So you came back and you were like, all right, let's start live touring. How many?
Well, not touring. I started off doing house gigs for a while. The first place I did sound consistently at as the house tech was a place called the Cabana Room, which was in a club. Well, the building was the Spadina Hotel at King and Spadina,
Okay.
and from there, um, that was about 2.5 years until the building closed. Right, they had to sell the building. From there, I ended up working some dance clubs doing lasers and pyro, and I was on air once in a while too on those dance radio stations. Oh my god! Uh, and, yeah, like from Shock nightclub and Times Square nightclub
when was
to
this?
live to airs with
When
this
was
was
this
live
rough?
to air with Tony. Well, live to air with Tony Monaco on hits or whatever the stupid stations were, but all the live to airs they would do from Shock and they did from Times Square. This is about 1996 to about 2000.
Okay.
And I was known on the air. I was known on the air as Mr. Serious, and I usually had very little to say. Tony Monaco would ask me some big long question on air, and at the end of it, I'd say, "No. You want to elaborate on that, Mr. Serious? No, I don't."
Oh man, that's great. That's hilarious. Uh, so okay, that you obviously gained a reputation and a
Also
fall.
worked for some mobsters there, yeah. And then and then just as Times Square got shut down or had to start, well, more mobsters. Anyways, so then I started. Then Aaron Michelson asked me if I could fill in a shift for him at the Big Bop, and I ended up working there for 13 years. Right, the Big
Oh
Bop, the
wow.
Reverb, yeah.
Well,
And
I'm new to town, so I'm not too familiar with this, but I'm
well, it's
sure.
the bar that Dominic owned before. Well, he was one of the owners of the Big Bop,
Okay.
right? So I've worked for Dominic now for 21 years.
Oh wow. Well, yeah, I mean, if you got a good
20, yeah.
if you got a good guy, you want to keep him around, right? You don't don't lose the talent. So
We've had a really good run so far, yeah.
oh, it's amazing. That's amazing. Uh, so well, tell me a bit about when you when you decided or got the opportunity to go on the road. What was your
Oh,
first road tour?
I had wanted to tour. That had been a dream of mine, but I mean I was almost 30 years old and had never had the opportunity to at this point. So it comes 1999. I've been doing some sounds at the Bop, actually in the Reverb. I just started there, and one of my first shows I did sound for was Jay Englishman,
Mm-hmm.
and we got along great. Boom, all of a sudden I'm his guitar tech. I've never guitar tech. I have no idea how to guitar tech, but I'm Jay Englishman's guitar tech. Okay, that was my first tour.
Wow.
So I went out, and it was Lonnie Totman was the tech, the guitar tech for Edwin, who was the headliner. And I basically went up to him and I said, "Hi, I'm Jake. I'm a sound guy, and I shouldn't be here. Um, can you show me what I can you show me what to do, and I'll try to help you out with whatever I can."
Oh
And
dear
we got
God,
along
help.
great. Oh,
Yeah, this is Lucifer. He always makes an appearance. It's
oh,
he's sort of a standing thing on the show. So
nice.
he'll come over.
Danny Michelle has a cat named Larry that does the same thing.
Oh
Comes and
yeah.
says hi once a show, and then goes away. Then
Uh,
goes away.
perfect. Perfect. All right. So
Hi, Lucy.
hi, buddy. I love you too. Um, so that's great. Guitar tech.
Okay,
When did you get
so
behind?
I was just okay. So this is the beginning of a good one.
All right.
So I'm doing sound. I'm doing sound for a band, Cryptopsy. They came into the cathedral. The year is 2000. It's fall of 2000. Um, Cryptopsy comes in, load in, and they have the biggest drum set. They have so much gear. It's unbelievable. It is crazy.
Made the Who look small, huh?
They get up there, they set up, and I'm setting up mics and stuff. And I can tell that already these guys are just going to be fantastic. So I go through sound checks. Now, anyone that knows me knows that I sound check. If things are going well, I can sound check pretty quickly. And I mean pretty quickly to the point where people don't think I'm doing anything at all, but I'm done. And so we go through all the instruments, and Cryptopsy are like, "Okay, that was very quick. Let's everyone can hear themselves in the monitors. Cool. Let's play a bit of a song and see how things go from there." And I'm like, "Yep, go do that." They start playing a song, and oh my fucking God, that's the first time I've ever heard Cryptopsy. So I went to the bar about, oh, I don't know, about 124 bars into the song, which was about 12 seconds. And they stop when they see me walk out of the sound booth. The guitarist, John Levasseur, he gets mad. He's sitting there. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm done. I'm getting a drink. Like, what do you mean you're done? You quit? Nobody's quit that soon on us. I mean, I know what I'm like, dude, it sounds great. I'm just done. I'm getting a drink. What do you mean you're done? You can't be. I'm like, hey, you come out here and you tell me what the hell I'm missing and I'll change it for you. So they had really long patch cords. They came off the stage. Lord Worm, the singer, well, it wasn't Lord Worm, it was Mike DeSalvo, came off the stage and they all stood in front. They went through another song. About another 20 seconds later, they stop playing and they look at each other and they see me sitting at the bar and they go, do you tour? And that was that. I'm like, okay, right? And I'm like, I don't know, man. So the first tour, so they call me that April, and I meet them. We go on tour. I go on tour with these guys, and literally the running joke at the end of every show was, they talk to each other about, hey, what part did you play well? What part did we fuck up? What part, blah blah blah. And then someone would invariably say, hey, let's ask Jake. And then somebody else would say, why ask Jake? He doesn't even like us. And I'd say that's still true. And they go on with their whatever. They didn't care that I didn't like the music. They just loved the fact that I got all of their sounds. I could make them audible. No other sound guy had been able to find little frequency pockets for them before to be able to fit. I mean, if you're playing 18,000 notes a song, people should be able to hear every one of those 18,000 notes. So
I actually
then I surprised them one day. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying.
Actually,
well, the worst thing is because I've been to a few of your shows and and the worst thing is that you go see other shows now, and you can tell that there's stuff that's just shouldn't be where it is, and it's like, and you're like, oh man, I saw a band, I won't bother saying, but I remember I messaged you. I was like, I wish you were the sound guy. I mean, at least you could, everything would have been very well balanced.
You were the fourth person from that show to message me from the same show.
Good. I'm not the only one.
That was great. I gotta say, I felt touched. You know what I mean? Like I felt touched. I also felt really bad for you guys because
it was like
Phoenix. It was loud.
Oh yeah, but I was so disappointed. I was just like, man, come on, it's not hard. I know a guy, I could call him. He can come here and fix your show for you if you need it.
Thanks,
not a problem, my friend. But like I said,
I totally surprised Cryptopsy one day, where I get the sound check and I've got this. I'm not doing porn. This is my Cryptopsy tattoo.
Nice.
That I got while on that tour, and I completely surprised them by turning into, and still am, a diehard fan. I love that band. They're the peak of extreme jazz, right? It is unbelievable. But
Cryptopsy,
that first North American tour that I did sound for, that was the first North American tour. That's the first time I've crossed into the States with the band.
That's amazing.
That was Cryptopsy 2001.
What a great
I ended that tour
too.
And immediately went out with Nevermore and Opeth.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. That's really cool. It's nice to have
same record company.
Well, I'm just gonna say it's nice to once you start and you have that moment of people go, oh wow, you're not full of shit. You can actually do this really, really well and do it really, really well. Nightly and different venues. It must.
So I'm doing this really well, really nicely, and then all of a sudden, these group of fucking assholes decide to fly planes into the Trade Center and fuck up the world of touring, fuck up the world of everything.
Yeah.
Really manage to leave their footprint on our industry. I'm not belittling the lives lost, but the billions of dollars that have been taken out of the entertainment business as a result of 9/11. You know,
just
this is
for the
stuff that a lifetime will take to get back.
oh, like just that initial thing. Are you saying like since that time there's been
Well,
billions lost, or just
not absolutely, because touring, it's just crossing a border is so much more difficult now. It's so much more expensive now,
yeah?
and it's just like it's changed everything. Like you know, you have to be approved before ever. It's
Well, it's like it'd
not
be like,
easy.
well, I mean, like Lemmy Kilmeister in when he was with Hawkwind and he got caught at the border with that package of mysterious white powder that they said was cocaine, but it turned out to be speed, methamphetamine, or
Right.
speed. It was speed, and
Always
yeah,
speed with Lemmy.
but the thing is that he now he couldn't cross the border, right? Like because of that convict. Well, he wasn't convicted, but I mean, like even an arrest can like stomp people cold, right? And I mean, like
Yeah,
heavy
but
metal.
once you got that kind of money, though, you just pay for, you know, the $5,000 for the temporary exemption. That's what all the big people. That's what all the stars do.
uh,
Seriously, they
yeah, but I
just
mean, like,
if you got money,
well, I'm just saying, like a newer band type deal. Oh, it's funny.
right?
What I'm just saying, what you said that crossing the border. I just remembered I was talking to a friend of mine. He was in a heavy metal band, and they did a U.S. tour dates, and they said he was like, "Yeah, we're trying to cross the border," and then all of a sudden, we're in a band, and all of a sudden we're like whisked into like the back room, and like it became such a hassle. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a real.
Lots of bands have been caught carrying drugs over. I mean, lots and lots of bands have been caught trying to smuggle over merch without paying for it. And although drugs is bad, because the don't not paying taxes on your merch, man, will they fuck you for that.
Oh wow. Oh,
Yeah,
well, yeah. Everybody's
you
got to. Uncle Sam's got to have his or in Canada, both of it. But everybody needs their hands in the pie, right? So,
yeah. Well, it's not so bad for the Americans coming to Canada, but going into the US, you have to declare every last little thing. It's pretty
wow,
nuts.
gnarly.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's
it is what it is, right?
but I mean, so I was on this big upswing momentum
And
when the
then,
world changed.
hey,
And
kind
now,
of like
so
this,
then
right?
I started. Then it took until about 2005 to really start normalizing travel after 9/11,
Mhm.
especially around the U.S. for a foreigner.
Yeah.
Okay, so it took until like 2004, 2005 until I really started doing any sort of touring. And then, well, there's a drug addiction problem. You know, that can be an issue. So that was my
Yeah.
next few years screwed up. And then Trump, we couldn't even. Who's gonna cross the border? We did once, and man, I gotta say that time over. Well, we did like 3 times with April Wine, but being in the U.S. when Trump was president was absolutely 100% bizarre. It was a completely mentally different trip than any other time I've ever been down south,
How would
and
you
it wasn't fun.
how would you say? Like, was it just the uh 4 more years or lock her up, build a wall
Just the
mentality, or
just
was it?
everyone being so rabid, everyone just being like, you're either with us or you're totally against us. You man, like Jesus, I'm like, dude, calm down. But you love Trump, right? We're Canadians. Oh, so you probably love Trump, right? Yeah, sure. You're buying, right? Let's have a yeah. No, I don't drink anymore, but yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been sober again?
Since June 13th, 2020.
Oh, so you just you're 1 year past.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good for you, my
this
friend.
time, yeah. Thank you.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta. I did a year cold sober. The only thing I couldn't kick was a cola. So I was the only thing
The only
I
thing I do now, period, is what I only do what I'm prescribed and pot. That's it. But I'm actually like I have an exemption for weed that's federal. So like I was one of the pot smokers that had a card before it was legal. Still, But that's all I do now is just pot.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, again, perfectly legal substance to indulge and what have you.
Absolutely, and way less dangerous for you than alcohol.
Yeah. And also less carbs. I knew the bodybuilders I worked out with were all always say that. It's like,
Absolutely,
I love beer, but I'll
absolutely.
just smoke. I smoke a lot of weed now. Like,
You know, no calories.
yeah, no calories here, man. Just all the
Yeah,
THC. So yeah, ups and downs with that. You got again, you got that city gig at the Rock Pile now.
correct.
That's good. That's good. Um, I guess you could say, do you have any like uber memorable moments out on the road with certain bands? I know
Let's see.
I do have one favorite story of yours. I might pry that
I'm
out
not
of you
talking
later.
about Glenn Danzig. I'm not talking about Glenn Danzig and toilet paper. I'm sorry.
All right, all right.
All right. So I knew that was going to come up.
It's
I
my
totally knew
favorite
that was
story.
going to come up.
I
I
love
know
it.
it's your
I
favorite story.
love it.
So
It's
maybe there'll be a
amazing.
part two. But
Yeah,
okay. So
next
one
time.
time I'm with World Dane out on the road. It's Nevermore. Is Dead Heart in a Dead World, and Opeth is on the same bus, and they're touring on Blackwater Park. Both of those albums, in my opinion, are the pinnacle of both of those bands.
Mhm.
And they were both they're playing well. Nevermore, maybe not so much, but Opeth for sure was at the top of their playing game of all time. Um, so our AC breaks down on the bus. We're literally on Alligator Alley, and we've got nothing to do for like 3 days while we wait for the bus to get repaired. But you know, so I'm on acid. You know, from the last place, the guy, I got some window pane acid from the sound guy in Florida, and I mean, our next show was in San Jose in Texas, and it was like our last show was on a Sunday, and this show was on a Thursday. So we had AC issues on the Monday, and so I dropped Monday afternoon, right? I think I was high until we got to Texas. But the best part of that is I offered some to World Dane, and he said absolutely not. But thank you, I appreciate it. But we will have fun. I'm like, okay. So he pulls out a bottle and he just starts drinking a bottle of vodka. Like, dude, hand me your phone, man. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, trust me, give me your phone. I'm like, well, yeah, is it long distance? He goes, oh yeah, it's long distance, but don't worry, you're gonna enjoy it. Okay, I hand World Dane my phone. All of a sudden, I hear on the other side, uh, "Hello, hey man, it's Worrell. I'm thinking about using again. So I just oh hey, okay, well, but I'm sitting here on a tour bus and I'm getting really hammered right now, so I don't think I could even find anything if I need to. But I thought I'd just call you anyways. But I feel better now." And he hangs up. I'm like, what part of you calling your NA sponsor is funny? He goes, dude, my NA sponsor is Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. So the next 30 time he calls, it's funny, right? But then it starts getting really bad about 40 times in when he's just saying, because Dave Mustaine is an NA sponsor. He has to pick up the phone when he sees the name. It's part of his responsibility, and he takes his responsibilities very seriously. As you can imagine, Dave Mustaine.
I absolutely imagine Dave Mustaine. Yes.
So it turns out, now this is the worst part of all those. I didn't realize that we were cranking Dave Mustaine the same day that he was playing my home venue in Toronto. So I pissed him off. He shat all over my friends, who he didn't know were my friends, but he still shat all over everybody anyways. So he just took his shit out on everybody. I hear about this when I get back, and then I'm like, oh, it was my phone number he was calling from. Believe me, these people didn't talk to me for like a year.
Wow.
That was the best part.
Wow. So inadvertently pissed off Dave Mustaine from Megadeth.
Fuck.
That is hilarious. My God.
Yeah. So he got my number blocked.
Just can't call him up out of the blue. Hey Dave, how you doing today?
I can't call up Dave Mustaine. I didn't. To be fair, I didn't even have the number until Worrell punched it in. I can't believe Worrell Dane is dead. My God, I can't believe that.
Yeah, well, that's
but that tour itself. That tour itself was just absolutely insane. We had moments of like sheer insanity where all of a sudden I'd be like after sound check, I'd tap someone on the shoulder and say, I'm just zombie, dude. I'm gonna fucking go take a nap. Turns out I didn't tap my tour manager on the shoulder. I tapped some stranger on the shoulder. So 2 minutes before Opeth is on, I've got somebody breaking on the bus, bursting into my bunk, grabbing my foot, going, "Get the fuck up, Jake. They're already on stage. They're already on stage." And that's the face I got as he was doing it, right? And I'm just like, oh my God, just fucking shoot me now. I got up, we went over there. I was fine. It was fine. We even started on time, so fine. But Jesus fucking Christ, I didn't know who I was till the third song.
You figure they'd wake you up at least. Somebody would be looking for you.
They couldn't find me. I tapped the wrong guy on the shoulder.
Oh, I know, but even then, you figure you'd start at the bus and then work your way in, right?
I've never had a nap on that tour before.
So all things led to a comedic moment in your existence.
It was just the way it went. I mean,
they're on the stage.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But that was actually one of the best shows that Opeth had that whole time, because they were all laughing when they saw me stumbling in, right? So I mean, like every show there was tons of people there.
Yeah,
it was Opeth's first tour in North America, so this is a big deal.
Oh yeah,
even though they were opening for Nevermore, it was still like it was Opeth's first North American shows, or first US shows. They had been to Canada before, but not the US. So I was really introducing these people. So it was really, like, put it this way, on the tour bus, you could always count on, at the end of every show, going to the back of the tour bus and sparking up the doob and playing Beatles songs on acoustics with the guys from Opeth. And you knew up front they'd be snorting absolutely anything they could find off of absolutely anything they could. And so I'd know which, being the Canadian, I could party with either. So I spent a lot of time smoking pot and singing Beatles songs, but maybe a little too much time up front too.
Yeah. Rock and roll, man. Rock and roll.
I nearly died doing that. I nearly died. I swear to God. I told this guy at the back of the junior show, I told him, "Hey, dude, I'm taking that fucking bag. I don't care. I got like $15. I know you're taking a loss. I give no fucks whatsoever. And I'm leaving right the fuck now." It's like, okay. So I'm like, great. I got this like 40 bag of Coke for $15. And I get on the bus. I get into the bathroom. I cut up a fucking massive line, celebrate, of course, and whack it all down and go, Jesus Christ. No wonder he was so hesitant. That was heroin. And I realized, oh my God, I might die. So I kind of fall out. Of the bathroom, and the bus is stopping anyways because we had gotten where we were going to go. And I kind of rolled off the bus and started throwing up. I think that's when people noticed there was something wrong. Yeah.
Wow. I don't think they had that adrenaline pen to Pulp Fiction moment there to get you going again.
No, there was no Naxalone involved. No, I was fine. I got up. I knew enough to get up and stay up and move around.
Attaboy.
And also to get some cocaine.
Yeah. Balance. It's all
about. I didn't just say that, did I?
No,
I
it's
didn't
fine.
just say that.
If there's anything,
My mom is not going to see this.
I'm going to send you this. You can go through it. If anything,
Edit nothing.
edit. It
I
will
don't
be
care.
nothing is edited. Perfect.
Edit nothing. I give no
Perfect.
shits at all.
All right, you gotta rock and roll, man. You know you live. Let me sit at best. You know I have no regrets. Life is too short to sit there and be like, well, I shouldn't have done that. Nah.
Yesterday I drove by the place where I remember. Okay, this is one night at the Cathedral, which is like a punk bar in Toronto. It was in the Big Bop, but it was the basement. It was the metal bar. It was the main floor, like the bottom floor. It was, it was treated as such and cleaned about as often. So either way, I have no idea what I was saying.
Don't worry, I did that earlier. We were talking about Lemmy, no regrets.
No. Oh yeah. So I got dosed with I saw someone I hadn't seen in a long time, and I got dosed with some really, really strong LSD. And so I'm after my shift. My shift's done at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon because I just done a Sunday matinee. And I mean, that's how my old friend had just crawled in off the street and dosed me. He goes, isn't that fucking hilarious? Just like old times. I'm like, so should I fucking beat your face in just like old times? Either way. So I started walking home, and I've called up my wife. She's sitting there at home with the kids. And I've called her up, and I'm like, well, this is ex-wife 2 now. And I'm like, I got dosed, babe. I'm gonna come home, but it might take me a while. She's like, yeah, okay, babe, no problem. It's sad because that wasn't the first time it had happened. But anyway, so I'm just past Ossington, and we're walking on Queen Street, and I heard someone yelling, help! And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Did that really happen? Help me. And there's this woman screaming, help me, from a back alley. So I run behind the gas station, and I see this woman wearing next to nothing. This guy is like slamming on her. And I run up, and he lets go of her. She runs off screaming. I call 911. I'm on the phone, but of course, the normal thing to think about is, well, what's the guy doing that was beating the shit out of her? Well, I realized that just as he knocked the glasses off my face. So I ran behind a bush eventually. I really like those glasses too. But so I called the cops, and they're like, so he says you were with the hooker to rip off the $650. And I'm like, I'm on acid. I'm not with anyone. I don't know who she is. I have no idea what's going on, but look into my eyes and tell me I'm lying. And that's how, then I went home.
He probably was like, nah, seems legit. Have a good day, sir.
He saw how high I was. He knew my story. I was telling him the damn truth. And
yeah, I have nothing to do with nothing, man. I am.
I was trying to help someone out. I didn't know what the circumstances were. I heard a woman scream, help. I went, sorry, I thought I was doing the right thing. And apparently I was, because this guy was, I don't even know what the story ended up being, but the cops were like, we don't buy this guy's act for 1 second.
Well, yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any favorite venues? What would you say, like, if you were to be like world tours going on right now, where would you be like, I can't wait to go back there and set up again?
The Trocadero in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great venue. Great staff. Absolute. It's an old theater. It's like the Opera House should have been.
You don't like the way that the Opera House is set up? I saw Guar there a couple times, and
you know how that PA is sitting on the ground?
Yeah,
it's completely wrong for the room, and I've not been a fan of the PA since they've done that. It was hanging for a while. I know why they got rid of the X-ray, but they need hanging speakers in that room. It doesn't work well.
Mm.
in my opinion.
Well, yeah, and it would get the sound higher up. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not even about it being higher. It's about it being separated properly for that type of room.
Mm. All right, cool. Okay, since we did the best, let's do the worst. Worst venue. Some places like, oh, we booked this room today, and you're like,
All
fuck,
right. I'm
really?
gonna tell you about a place. I'm gonna tell you about a place in Tampa called the Brass Mug. The Brass Mug. This is where the bitch resides. Now, I'm not calling her this. This is what she calls herself. She sits at the bars, big old Florida woman, and she says, I'm beautiful, intelligent, talented, charming, and happy. I'm a bitch. I'm like, fuck. Oh, can you just go away? Anyways, so
No. I know this person.
yeah, oh yeah.
I know this person. I've never been there, but I know this person.
we get to we get there to this place called the Brass Mug, and I walk in, and I'm like, "Is there another room where the bands go?" They said, "There's the stage right there."
Oh no.
And I was like, "This room has a max capacity, max 75 people. The stage was built for, I don't know, pissing on, definitely not for Flo Monier's drum kit." Either way, I walked out of the room, walked back onto the tour vehicle, and opened up the big bottle of Jack Daniels and just started drinking. the,
Oh no.
the closet they put me in. Okay, first of all, the whole PA is literally stacks and stacks of home stereo stuff. It was so weird. It was so bad. It was so bad. They had this jukebox there, and okay, first of all, the sound booth is in a cupboard, right? Like these got these doors that open up if you want to see the band. They've also got a video shot of the band, but there's a major delay of like 4 seconds or something, so it's
Oh
like
no.
really useful. I asked, "What's that big red button for?" He goes, "That's for the jukebox." I'm like, "Why would you need a kill switch for the jukebox?" He goes, "Because it's louder than the PA." Okay. So after the second time, I had to kill the jukebox. And you have to remember that not only this jukebox is not automatic, these are fucking yokels that are sitting there in this live bar putting their money into a jukebox. Anyways,
Wow.
so I eventually made it out of there without killing anyone. Here, I'll tell you more about that place right now, just because we came back there with Opeth and Nevermore. It was called the Tent Show. And I'm like, okay, does that mean it's tent, like tent outside? Hey, we could do that. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
in Florida, I bet this is going to be massive. And I was right. There was a large number of people crammed into that little shitty room.
Wow.
Man. uh, and I swear to God, that place must have been the biggest coke den or something, because they were the highest guarantees on both tours. The highest guarantees they got on, for that part of the states. Anyway, it's like crazy numbers they got paid for rooms that a room that could hold 75 people. It was insane. It was insane. There was a guy coming by though. It was, and I'll never ever forget this rib guy. He would just he owned a farm up the street. He'd kill a cow and just throw its ribs on the grill and then come and sell you half of them for $12. And they were amazing. It was crazy.
Homemade
You
barbecue
know?
sauce, probably mixed with cocaine.
Seriously. Yeah. No. He'd be charging more if it was.
Oh God, that's amazing.
So this place though, I swear, oh my God. And so on the second tour, I just got almost blackout drunk before we got there. And I'm like, take. Oh yeah, here's the other story. Here's the other story about the sound guy there. So the sound guy there is like older than dust. Okay. And and every time he talks on me, because you know you actually lose weight from breathing, right? It's your carbon dioxide that you exhale is
Yeah.
how you actually lose most of the fat that's broke down in your body. So I was
Mhm.
trying not to breathe on him too much, but I wanted him to get the proteins or whatever. I wanted him to get the health, to get some weight, but I thought he was going to blow away. And he looked at me and he just started yelling. I'm just like, Jesus, I'm standing right next to you, man. But he's like, all right. So I give him my list, my track sheet, right? Like what I want on track one, what I want on channel two, channel three, channel four. So like I want kick, snare, hi hat. And he goes, huh, what's this? I go, it's a track sheet. This is, it's what I want. He goes, oh well, yeah, it don't work like that around here. But oh, okay. Could you explain to me how it does work? He goes, the where you see them on the board, just look straight up, and that's where it is. So each mic from stage right to stage left was numbered 1 to 16. So 1 was a lead vocal, 2, well, no, it was a backing vocal, 2 was a guitar, 3 was another guitar, 4 was another vocal, 5 was kick drum. I swear to
Oh
God, I was going to
my
kill this guy.
God. That's
Yeah, it was pretty
insane.
bad.
Oh.
It was, and I couldn't change them because they had all been stapled into place. So only like the last 4 inches of them moved, and we didn't foresee a circumstance like this, so we didn't bring enough cable.
Oh no.
So I just went along with the fucking 1 to 16, whatever, dude. Tomorrow's another day, man. It'll get better. You know. After see, that's the thing about I got to say about Brass Mug is there it can't get worse. You know what I mean? Like, unless the show actually stops in the middle, it can't get worse than Brass Mug. So let's go from there.
You gotta, yeah, absolutely, right. And I loved your first reaction was to walk in with a bottle of Jack.
Oh,
Oh, this is
geez.
a show? Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck. Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful though.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
painful memories, man. Painful memories. Make me wish I didn't quit drinking.
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing great, my friend. Oh, that's amazing. So I guess like we've been at this for about 45 minutes, but I'm just kind of wondering, like being in Toronto and all that, what do you feel about the venues sort of dwindling down that's been
I don't know
going
what's going
on?
to survive. I honestly don't know what's going to survive and what's not. It's been really hard for all of the venues. I'm really happy for places like the Opera House that have been able to start up a new way of doing shows or a new type of media place. Like it's being called the Hub now, right?
Mhm.
They're going to do live stuff, but it's mostly going to be streaming, and good for them. But for Dominic at the Rock Pile, he's just slugging it out the old-fashioned way. He's starting to bring in people onto the patio. You know, I don't, I don't know who's gonna. I don't know what bars are gonna make it through this. I don't know what shows are gonna look like anymore. I don't know if it's all just gonna go corporate like production styles. That's what I'm seeing now. Is everyone's doing these all these shows at drive-ins, but they don't realize that the sound that they're using at the drive-ins are usually one of the guys from the production company that may know them, may not know them, probably doesn't care, and is already really tired from setting up all the shit that he's I'm sure they've got crews, but they don't treat most of the production companies, their sound people or whatever, they're not let off from coming in and doing a full load in and setup. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They're just one of the guys who's like, oh, who wants to do sound? Okay, I'll do it. Whatever. Like it's crazy.
I did a loadout. I was security for Tragically Hip when they played my hometown back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, and end of the night, right? We kick everybody out, and then
Yeah.
Joe Falialomoana who was our I played rugby back in Grand Prairie. He was head of the security over there. He's a
Okay.
big old Kiwi. Like dude's hands are like
Right.
that. Got one
And
right
your
there.
hands are pretty big. So
Oh, I
yeah.
know. I got one where I went to tackle him one time in practice, and he just went like, "Goosh."
Straight arm.
Oh yeah, and it was just like, and it like, it's like, oh, and I'm his teammate, right? It's like, thanks,
Yeah.
Joey. Anyway, but so he's like, hey, Ekstrom, you want to come and like do the breakdown? It's like still being paid. He's like, yeah. I was like, sure, cool. So I start tearing everything down. I actually have a t-shirt, because they used to give like the home crowd
T-shirts.
people
Yeah.
free shirts, right? So I have a Tragically Hip loadout shirt. So I
Nice.
understand like the level of like when you're having to like, and I've done tech too, so I know like setting up it's a brutal long day, right? So
Yeah.
I can understand that, but I mean, like you were you just do it all yourself at the rock pile, right? Like, or have
Yeah,
you?
but I'm crazy or stupid or both.
Yeah. Well, you do always put on a great show there. That's a big thing. I'm looking forward to when you get back at it for sure. Like to
Oh,
get
me
back.
too. Especially now that pot's legal, I'm gonna be stoned all the time there,
Well, you got
nonstop. I mean, I'll be walking in high nonstop. I'll be walking with my pipe.
uh
Now I don't have to try to hide it. I mean, Dom never really cared if I smoked, as long as I wasn't doing other stuff. He didn't care.
well, pot. I that whole thing, it being illegal for so long, it just doesn't make sense.
No, the only reason I didn't do pot for a long time though, it was because for a long time it changed my hearing, and I didn't like taking substance. It was a while where I didn't take ibuprofen because it was making my ears ring a little bit. But I found as I've gotten older, pot doesn't affect my ears as much like that, uh, and I've learned to work around it. Oh man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but don't edit. I can't believe I'm not smoking pot right now, but I'm inside. Um,
It's fine. I smoke inside. I don't give a shit.
well,
Yeah.
no, we rent, so I
Uh,
don't know.
so do I, but I
We
don't
rent.
care.
We like our landlords. They're friends of ours. No,
I live in a little bachelor pad on
right.
from a particular rental group that I will remain anonymous,
Oh yeah, yeah. Fuck them.
because I don't want to get kicked out, because I bad
Ah,
talk them, and they
yeah,
probably
fuck them.
would too. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure they
it's
would. So I'm not going to name them either. Fuck them.
yeah, jerks.
Ah,
So it's it's been about an hour ish.
sure. All right.
I like we had a good bit of conversation, a lot of laughs, a lot of wow moments, especially with the bands. So that's really cool. Like anyway, Jake,
Hey, I'm writing a book.
I know, how's that going?
It's not. I've been really writer's block, but I figure that the more times I tell people I'm writing a book, I'll get into getting back to writing my damn fucking book already.
Well, maybe like this is consider these like Cole's Notes version of at least you can kind of be
Yeah,
like, look,
I can
hey,
refer back to for a story here. Yeah,
Bulldog show. Hey, what is this? Okay,
right.
I can talk about this off of that, and then get the juices flowing again.
True
But
enough.
it was an absolute pleasure, my friend. Do you want to like? I guess at this moment, I'm just going to say, do you want to plug anything? We've been talking about the Rock Pile, which is
Yeah, Rock Pile's great. April Wine. I mean, you don't really need to plug April Wine because
hmm,
they're timeless and forever. But I'm still working with April Wine.
cool. Is there
um,
any other like social media? Like I don't know if you, because like
oh
you.
yeah. I am sorry. That's actually ridiculous. Sorry, I can't believe I did not mention this at all. I I will hopefully be hosting a Twitch channel. It's all everything, all of my like so Instagram, Twitch, uh, Discord is all Metal Sound Guy. metal sound guy. And on Facebook, I'm just Jake.
Perfect. I'll get that from you again, like the links, and I'll make sure that they're
Write
in
them
the
across.
they're in the
All right.
description afterwards. So
Do those
well,
weird little stresses that I said too.
hmm? Oh, sorry, you were cutting out there. What did you say?
Do those weird little stresses you were saying that I was saying too.
Yeah,
Like I don't know.
Instagram. No.
This is how long it's been since I've smoked marijuana. And it's like how far I got. Yeah. Okay, I have to go
Brilliant.
smoke a joint.
Brilliant, my
I
friend.
love you.
I
I
love you
love
too,
you.
man. Thank you very
Hi.
much.
Okay.
It was a real pleasure. Take care,
It
friend.
was. Cheers, brother.
Okay, bye-bye.
See ya.
Wow. That was amazing. That was a really good interview. I had a lot of fun. Thank you, Jake, for coming on. His links will be in the description below. And yeah, so thank you for enjoying, and being a part of my my Discord. And well, the next guest that I have is amazing, and I don't feel like spoiling it, but he is a renowned voice actor all through my childhood and yours, I'm sure. So next Friday, please come and check out my next guest. I don't have to say it. Do I have to say it? I mean, it is my program. I guess I could be like, well, all right, I'll give you a hint. If you were a fan of the Care Bears, the 1980s, you're going to want to check out this interview. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, that'll work. So, again, thanks for coming out. Skål.